Hello, my name is Miss Stora Ngila, and please don't scroll past this video. I just am starting my new channel, and I'm starting a channel on healing, how to heal as women. I feel like we're in society where right now so many of us are unhealed, we're unfulfilled, and we're just living lives that are essentially meaningless. And I want to change that. I want women to live fulfilled lives and whole lives. And to start off, I want to just tell my story and how I became the fully healed, whole woman where I am ready for love, I can be love, I am love. And I want other women to reach that level of healing. And to start off, I'm just going to tell my story. I'm going to tell it in 4 parts. It's pretty long, but I'm just telling my whole life story. I'm putting it all out there. I'm nervous. I'm scared. Hope no one judges me. I hope that no one in my family gets upset by this, because I am going to just speak from what I experienced, and I'm so nervous. But I just really need to tell my story for other people to truly understand where I was and where I am now and how far I've came. So to break it down, I am Nigerian. I was born in Nigeria. My dad was with my stepmom, who is really, I just call her mom. But for the sake of this story, to make everything easy, I'm gonna call her my stepmom. But she's my mother. She's who raised me. And then my bio mom, who is my biological mom, just for the sake of this story. So my stepmom and my dad were together, and my dad, I don't know the story. Did he cheat on my stepmom? Was he dating 2 women? He's Muslim. I don't know, but it was a hot mess. And basically he got my bio mom pregnant. And so that's how I was born. And after that, shortly after, we won a visa lottery to come to America. And so, to my knowledge and to everyone else's knowledge, my bio mom knew about this. She knew I was going to America. And I was just going to go with my stepmom and my dad. But apparently, she claims that she did not know when I was kidnapped. Now, with that being said, I want to point out something that my stepmom told me, that when I was on the plane and we were on our way to America, that I would cry. I would say my mom's name, Taye, 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 and just was crying her name in the whole entire ride. I only want to really bring that up because I just want you guys to see the level of trauma that I've experienced from such a young age. So then we go off and we're in America, and we're with my dad. He's doing his thing, and I at this point was a daddy's girl. I love my daddy, and I look just like him. That's my twin, treacherous twin. And so he asked me one day, like, do you want to go and come run errands with me? And I was like, of course, daddy, yes. And he was like, okay, I'll get you some cookies. And at that time, I loved me some cookies and milk. Can't stand milk now, but I loved cookies and milk then. And so I went with my dad. Long story short, he goes, does some errands. We stop at a store, and he says, hey, let me go do what I gotta do, and I'll come back for you. I was like, okay, cool beans. So when he gets back, he's like, do you want some cookies? I'm like, of course. That's the whole reason why I'm here. So he goes to go get the cookies. And while he's gone, a police officer comes. And next thing you know, I know the police officer asked me some questions about where my dad was and some other things. And all of a sudden, my dad gets arrested. And for the life of me as a child, I thought it was my fault. I thought if I never told my dad I wanted cookies, that he would have never went back in the store, and we would have just left, and he never would have gotten arrested. That's literally what my young mind used to think. Like, I used to think it was my fault, that I was just like this just horrible person. So then my aunt and my mom come to pick me up, and like life was different ever since that day. Now, with my stepmom, there were a lot of trials and tribulations in the beginning of our relationship. I think that there were times where, I got beat to the point, like as a 3-4 year old, that I fell down the stairs. There's time that she has choked me, and I feel like sometimes it was a bit excessive, and I'm not sure if she was just dealing with the emotions of raising another woman's child or what the case may be, but that was just like a lot. And when I got choked, I was like, what, 5, 6, 7 years old, choked on the edge of the bed. It was just crazy. And just at the time, I thought it was normal. It wasn't until I became an adult and I realized, like, no, I went through traumatic things, so many different things. Just to explain a little bit, like there was a time where my sister got in trouble and my mom cut her hair while she had fresh micros. Y'all remember the micros from the 2000s to 99? And she cut them, and she was like, and acting like, I'm sorry, Mom, if you watch this, but a complete mad woman. And just like cut it and cut it, like she made sure she cut it like zigzag and raggedy so that my sister's hair could look a mess. And my sister's hair ain't grown since then. And I'm not even joking. I don't even say that to be funny, but it ain't been the same since that day. So we were raised in a lot of trauma. So just fast forward to high school. High school now, I have been living with my stepmom. At this point, we have a great relationship. Things have changed. I'm a darling of a child, so of course she loves me. And so I come home one day from school, and my mom is like upset, and I'm just looking at her like, what's going on, baby girl, what's the tea? And she's like, well, your bio mom just called and your dad is in jail in Nigeria because she said you were kidnapped as a child, and he won't leave the jail until you go live with her family in New York. And I'm just like, wait, what? And literally I get shipped off to New York, and I'm living with a man I don't know in a family I don't know, in New York. It was a 1-bedroom apartment. There was a woman living in the living room and another man from Nigeria living in the living room, and I was like 13, 14, sleeping on the floor next to them. And the place was disgusting. There were rats every single night that would roll over my feet, and cockroaches. I woke up several times with holes in my socks because the rats were eating through my socks. Like, there were so many nights that I would go into the bathroom and just sit on the toilet and just try to just get away from the bugs. Anyways, just to fast forward this as much as possible, I get shipped to Nigeria. In Nigeria, I meet my bio mom for the first time in my life. And I guess I'll just end that here and do another part.